Hello Gemini, this is a timeless reading for you. I'm gonna start with the classic weight deck in Art Nouveau style. Later I will also use all my own decks as well. I have pre-shuffled all the cards and I'm just gonna give them a small extra shuffle. So we are starting with the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the Star, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. It feels like you're holding on to something. After a certain loss. I don't know why I'm getting this, but for many of you it could be that you're holding on to a certain kind of dignity. After some loss, after some huge disappointment, it feels like you're trying to soothe yourself, which is very good. Some people, when something happened to them, they develop this kind of self-hatred and start to punish themselves. For some of you, I even feel like maybe you are holding on to a pet. Maybe you have a sick pet or even a dying pet. If so, I'm sorry. This is also a thing I'm getting, like I'm seeing him, for some of you, like this coin on his lap replaced with a pet. Like he looks sad. There is something that causes grief. But yet I feel a lot of love. Some kind of self-love, as I said, which is very good. Often we are not able to give that love to ourselves anymore when we are going through something. There is also some kind of, as if you're having something, you know, that is constantly running through your memory. Like repeated memories coming up. I'm not sure if they're traumatic, maybe for just a few of you, but for most of you I feel like it could even be good memories, some kind of nostalgia. I also feel like maybe you escaped from a certain situation and you took something away with you that belonged to you, and now you're like glad that you still have this thing in your hand. Like, just as a metaphor, I'm not seeing this literally in the reading. Like, just imagine your house starts to burn and you are taking something, the most important thing, you are taking that out, and you have this loss. You went through this loss, but at least you are glad that you still have this very important thing and you are holding on to it. That's the energy that I'm feeling, that you got out of some kind of situation, but you are glad that you still have this very important thing to you. In the unconscious position, in the unconscious position, we have the Seven of Wands, and I feel like this is your energy, and this is like somehow in your subconscious, you are still feeling quite defensive and a little bit afraid that you have to, you know, counter some kind of attack again, like you have to protect yourself. Yet in your conscious position, there's the Star card, and I feel like you are slowly shifting into a more playful and innocent energy, also into a kind of space where you allow yourself to be vulnerable. I'm also thinking of her looking at herself in the water, at her reflection. So, and she's naked on that card. And to me, this is some kind of intimacy that you're having with yourself, this kind of honesty, and being able to look at yourself the way you are. You know, often, not all of us, but some of us, when we look into the mirror, we find something that we don't like, and then we avoid to look in the mirror. Or when we dive deep into our psyche, we also find stuff that we don't like. And I feel like this is like a very intimate moment with yourself, a very huge opening and allowance of vulnerability. So for those of you who are listening to me for the first time, I'm German. So sometimes I'm saying some things wrong. But I think the reason that my tongue is twisting so often right now is because I have recorded some readings today already, and then after a while, I don't know, my brain just becomes a little bit weird. So this is your situation, this is your, you know, what you're thinking about, what you're aware of, and what you will, the type of energy that you will soon be growing into, this kind of healing, this kind of self-reflection, self-respect, and self-love. And whereas she is still in this vulnerable healing phase, like it seems then you are supposed to grow a little further out of this one again into the Nine of Pentacles, where you have, you know, she's dressed, she's looking at the hawk, she has her pentacles, she's very self-sufficient, she's very self-confident, there is a certain pride about her. And even though the star card is already a very beautiful energy, like this is where you're supposed to be at, I feel like this is where life or where your guides are going to guide you, where this is the energy that they want you to be in. And the Page of Cups is also your energy, and I feel like for some of you it could mean that if we combine these two energies, maybe you're supposed to be some kind of entertainer, doesn't matter in what field. It doesn't necessarily have to be something artistic, but it could be for many. And if you want to perform this kind of act or do this, whatever this is, you need to have this kind of self-confidence and this strength. You need to radiate that and feel that. So this is something where you will soon probably grow into. I also feel like this Page of Cups is some kind of nonchalance regarding your own emotions. That in a healthy way, maybe you manage to step back, to not fully detach, but to look at your own emotions with a lot of clarity and not be affected by them too much, like you're owning your own emotions, especially the negative ones. Getting a grip on something, like not in the first card, like holding on to something, getting stuck on something. But, you know, there is this looseness about this Page of Cups. A certain type of ease that you might develop soon. So the next spread is with my own cards. I call them the medieval oracle cards. Just a quick shuffle because they are actually already shuffled. The lute, artistic. Maybe some of you are musicians, or you just, I mean, the lute could also represent other kind of entertainment or something that just has to do with sound, which doesn't always have to be music. You could even study some animal sounds, the singing of dolphins or something. The lute can also, stand for other things in my deck, but in this case I literally want to take it as something regarding sound or music, celebration, party, but I'm not getting that vibe too much from your reading. This is more something about self-reflection, something about growing. We have death, the sun, that looks very nice. We have the queen and coins. So there is some transparency coming into this situation. There is some light and warmth, understanding and clarity that will solve certain things, worries and problems. In the unconscious position, there's death. So I feel like this is saying that I was mentioning earlier that, it seemed to me that you've been through a certain kind of loss, maybe whatever it is that you lost, if it was a person, relationship, situation, job, whatever, or something material, then I feel like this death card represents like this total totally accepting what has happened and not hoping that if it was a person that this person will come back, or you're just not waiting for anything anymore. Like this situation is just dead to you, which will bring you a lot of relief, a lot of ease, and probably a lot of growth, because the sun can also stand for growth. Plants need the sun to grow. Of course, they also need other elements, but the sun is a very important one. The queen in my deck, she can come up sometimes in a negative way. In your case, I feel like she's more neutral. This could be you developing into this queen energy, which reminds me of the Nine of Pentacles. The self-confident, intelligent, sharp-minded energy, also very fair. Like she's proud, but she's not selfish or egoic if she's a healthy queen. Of course, if she comes up in a negative way, she could be entirely selfish, exploitative, and you know how bad queens are. But she doesn't come up this way here. This could either be you, or this could also be a person that is already in your life or will come to your life and offer you something so that you will feel more playful again and you don't have to stick or hold on to this pentacle here, whatever this pentacle is. If it is something material, like I feel like there will be new coins coming in, and this could have something to do with this queen. Of course, the queen could also be a man in your life, someone who might give you a certain idea or offer you a position or something. If this is about a very sad kind of loss, as I said earlier, about a pet or something, this person might offer you some solace or maybe if it's a sick pet, be able to help, like like the vet or someone like that. I don't know why I got this. I often get something about pets in my reading. So the next spread, I'm using my duality cards, my duality tarot card deck. So we got good, flow, stay, oh that looks nice, laziness, and lack. Okay, not perfect, but the first few cards were pretty nice. I feel like for some of you, maybe you even lost a relationship. Maybe it was a breakup, not for all of you. And there is this lingering disappointment because you thought, maybe you would grow old with them, be with them until you die. And maybe, due to the sadness, you went through a long period of some kind of laziness. I don't mean that in a bad way. Sometimes when stuff happens, we just can't motivate ourselves properly. And I think that's okay, but maybe you want to get out of this. And because in the center of this spread, we have the card good. So I think you will be feeling better soon if there is something that is really burdening you, making you sad. And for others, I'm getting something different here. Like you could already be in this good energy where you think like, okay, everything is gonna be fine, or everything is already fine. And whatever that loss was, like you're getting over it because you somehow deep within you, you know that this is the flow of life and sometimes things happen. You still have good memories, you still have something to hold on to. Not everything is lost, you still have this treasure on your lap that you don't have to let go of. There is something, even after you lost something, there is still a value to whatever this was. Something that, will always be close to your heart. I mean, even if this is about a pet or a grandparent, it could be that this pet actually grew very old, or this person, so it was like a natural cause, and you are just aware and grateful that this animal or person had a long and good life. So, and you just accept that this is a part of life. This is just for some of you. And before people start to panic, I'm not saying that you will lose your pet or you will lose your grandparent or something. No, I'm saying this part of the reading is for those who have already been through that. And I'm seeing that there will be coming good times and, getting through all this. For some of you, I would even interpret this laziness card differently. Instead of, being demotivated, being a little bit lazy due to some kind of loss and sadness, that could resonate only for a few. And for others, it could be the opposite, like maybe you need to rest. Maybe you need to be a little bit lazier. Sit back and just now and then allow yourself to get this break. As the outcome and realization, we have lack. And I feel like this is because you are supposed to grow from this Four of Pentacles to the Star, and then from the Star to the Nine of Pentacles. And we had the coins in the previous spread here. Like, there are a lot of pentacles. Maybe for some of you this was also a little bit about money. So there seems to be a lesson in that maybe you will realize something about a kind of lack mentality or some negative thoughts that you were having towards yourself or towards something in your life. And that maybe also why you held on to a certain object. It could also be that maybe life is trying to show you that you could be having much more, like waking you out of this situation, even though he seems to be fine with his Four Pentacles, especially the one in the center that he's, holding on so tightly. That there is more out there for you, but you have to realize that, so you have to have this realization about this kind of lack. So now the next row or the next spread, I'm going to use my Lifestyle Tarot cards. Sometimes when I pull these cards, there's something health related coming up, so please don't take this too seriously. I'm not a replacement for your doctor, and those cards are just for fun. Poop. That could be just your mood, like, sometimes life stinks, sometimes situations suck. And if you want to take it in a physical way, this could be just an indication for some digestive problems. Next one, music. We had the lute already and the Page of Cups. So there is something artistic maybe that you are supposed to express, or something that, someone else expressed for you, some kind of artist, and that might help you through something. Next one is sunlight, and with this card I'm always saying that this reminds me of going out, going into the sun. Here in Germany we had a very gray day today, but other days at least now and then the sun breaks through, and when I have time I usually go outside for a walk, so that I can get some sunlight, because it really brightens up our mood, or just open the window and sit, let the sun shine into your face if you don't want to go outside. Like, sometimes it can just help for a few minutes to get some sunlight, or maybe you will feel like the sun. You just want to shine on people. Then we have learn. Of course, yes, some inner learning, but I feel like this doesn't relate too strongly to the rest of the reading anymore. Could be that, just in between all of that, there might be an opportunity to learn something new. Maybe learning something new could also cheer you up a little bit, distract you a little bit from whatever happened. Timing and doctor. Oh, I pulled this one already. So with the timing, maybe you have an appointment at the doctor's, or maybe, you know, the doctor card is just, if you've been struggling with something for several weeks or months that just doesn't go away by itself, maybe this card suggests that you could think about visiting a doctor. I know sometimes we think, yeah, it will just go away one day, I don't have to get an appointment. But sometimes stuff can also be quite penetrant. This could also, because I was talking earlier about the vet, have something to do with that. But I feel for most it is probably about your own health. Maybe there is something you want to get checked out. And with this whole timing card, it reminds me of this flow card when I was saying earlier that maybe you just accepted that some things are just a part of life, and when the time comes, they have to go. They are fading out. It is also an indication for stress. Maybe, you know, you will soon enter into some kind of phase where you have to go to a lot of appointments, like go to work, meet your family, take care of someone, take care of a family member, of a pet, maybe both, go to a doctor, clean something. Like sometimes we have these periods in our life where we just have all kinds of appointments within 1 week, you know. So no, I'm gonna keep them here and pull the last cards. Those are my sarcastic animal messages. And we have the cow. I'm sensitive and underrated. So, you know, this reminds me of the star card. This could be your energy. That whatever that situation was for you. I mean, he also looks very sensitive. But maybe he also feels underrated. Maybe, you know, this was a rough situation, a social situation that was weird. And just made you feel underrated. The cow could also have a completely different meaning for you that I'm not aware of. Then we have the bee. I'm always busy, okay? So this might be a busy time for you at the moment, with the timing card especially together. We had the laziness card earlier, where I was, you know, giving you two versions, that maybe for a group of you this laziness card was just an indication that maybe you should take some more time to rest and lay back. But there seems to be a certain amount of activity here. And the hair, I'm always pregnant. So you could be with this page card and the lute and the music card, you could be very creative and, you know, very pregnant with ideas. Or maybe you are literally pregnant, not always, but just in this moment. Or you know someone who's pregnant. Oh, and I could even be your pet that is pregnant that you have to bring to the doctor. Maybe you are pregnant and have to get something checked out. You know, just a regular appointment to see if everything's going well. But mainly, usually I don't take this card literally. I made those cards for fun and they are meant in a sarcastic way. So I often perceive this card of like just being pregnant with some kind of ideas, with some kind of motivation or a plan. So I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for watching.